Hello everybody, we're still working on this muffler here today. And I've got it, I got the tubes inside tack welded, and I've got the outer perimeter of the inlet and the outlet fully welded. And it's nice and rigid now. It's not flopping all around the bench. You can see I got the inner flanges just tack welded in. And now these need to be fully welded. I don't want any exhaust gas slipping out of there. And we'll put a flange on here. And on here I left this one a little bit long. I had two different sizes on two different mufflers. And most of the new mufflers you get today, these are very short. And then the tailpipe never seems to work out. So I've got that one, and that has a long tailpipe extension. And that one has an even longer tailpipe extension. So I made this one as long as the longest one. And like I say, we'll just mostly get in the vehicle. We'll trim it to fit, put the flange on it. So now that this is all welded up, what we need to do now is get a piece of our 12 gauge cut, and we'll run it through the slip roll and make a outer sleeve for this. And I'm going to get to that next. We'll go over to the shear and cut a piece out and figure out how big it's got to be, and get it rolled into a circle. So that's coming next, and I'll show you as we go along. Okay everybody, here's the first test fit we have of our outer skin, and it's fitting pretty good. I just got a bunch of clamps on it to hold it in place. We've got to deal with this edge right here, even this up and get that banged down a little bit more. But you know, when you put something through the slip roll, the two ends don't come out as round as everything else, so we're going to have to massage those into place a little bit. And then we have to carefully get the ends welded so they're 100% solid right in there, and we don't want anything leaking through there. And then because this is such a heavy material, I can't get it wrapped around like a, yeah, it almost looks like a wired edge there, you know, like on the top of a bucket or something, but very big. And because I can't do that with this 12 gauge, I may run a decorative, I may roll up a piece of rod there and put it on so it gives it that look, and weld it all the way around. I think it'll look a little bit nicer than just a plain muffler. But I'm going to get this outer skin finished. And before I put the outer skin on, I'm going to really clean the inside of this muffler. And everything that's on the inside, I'm going to give a coat of high temperature cold galvanizing compound. And that'll be on the inside. And then, like I say, on the outside, we'll clean it real good, and we'll put the high temp paint right when we're finished with the whole exhaust system. We'll sandblast everything and put some high temperature paint on that. And there's not a whole lot of heat at the muffler like there is at the exhaust manifold pipe, but so it should last real good. But again, let me I'll pull this apart. I'll show you the inside before I get everything welded up on the outside, and give you one last look in there. And then we'll get this carefully TIG welded up. I'll try and get you some arc shots of that, and then we'll see if we can spruce it up a little bit, give it a little bit of a better look. So that's where we're at right now. Just a little bit of fiddling we got to do with that seam there, but nothing too bad. Perfectly fitting right there. Just got to bend this part over a little bit more. But we're gaining on it, and I'll be back in a little bit when we're a little bit further along. Okay, everybody, here's the finished muffler. I wound up putting some round stock on the end there to make it look more like the original one there. But you could see a couple of the examples that we started with. And I just finished welding it, so it's a little warm. But I think you can see we got our seam there that comes up. We got our 1/2-inch flange, and then the piece of 3/16 wire that goes around there. I think it dresses it up pretty nice. And same on this side. I still got to dress the weld a little bit, but that's roughly what it's going to look like. And everything is welded up. We've got our 12 gauge skin around there, and you saw some pictures. We put some high temp galvanizing compound in there, and that should keep the inside doing good. And like I say, we'll sandblast the entire exhaust system before we put the high temp paint on it, and so, you know, we'll do that with the muffler. And that's what it's going to look like. And I'll show you some flanges that I think we're going to make, and I'll be right back with those. Okay, guys, this is the there's our muffler finished, and this is the pipe that comes off the manifold, and we're going to make some flanges. Here's a flange. I think you can see that okay. That's a little bit thicker than original, and that's basically that flange there. We'll weld it to our pipe, and that's 1/2-inch material, a little bit thicker, lasts a little bit longer, and doesn't flex, and stays nice and flat with the gasket. And then on the muffler, I think you can see that okay. Let me make sure you can see that. Yeah, on the muffler, these are just some gaskets. It's not the actual piece, but our piece is going to look something like this. This is a gasket for the water outlet on an L-head. But basically, we're going to weld that. We'll cut these out of 1/2-inch steel, weld that to that tube there, and then the next tube coming in. It won't be a slip fit or a, you know, one going inside the other, or a butt weld with a clamp around it or anything like that. We'll be able to put a real high temperature gasket between the two pieces of steel and nut and bolt everything together. So a lot of military vehicles were like that, you know, the M38A1 and stuff. They had flanges on all the pipes. So it's going to look something like that. Maybe not exact, but I'm just trying to show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to get busy cutting out a bunch of flanges here. And we need one for the tailpipe, one for the inlet, you know, and then one at the where the head pipe comes down. So we're going to need a bunch of them. So I'm going to set the mill up and get those cut out. We'll make sure they're nice and flat. And like I say, we're going to weld them on all the areas. So we're going to get going on that next. And like I say, and one last shot of the muffler with those pieces of 3/16 wire welded on there. I think that makes it look nice like the original. And basically, we came from that. Make sure you can get that in the picture there. We came from that ugly muffler to that new one. There it is. So that one should last a very long time. And like I say, with those heavy-duty flanges on there, it makes it easy to take things in and out. If anything does wear out, we just unbolt it instead of having to try to bang two pipes apart or something like that. But that's what's going to happen next, and then we're going to start bending that tube. We'll get it in the bender there and see what it wants to do. We may have to put some heat to it. I don't know. It's very heavy stuff. Again, like I say, it's not what I ordered, but we're going to work with it and do what we have to do to get it bent. So we're gonna end it here, and that's the first step of the exhaust system. And keep watching because the rest of it's coming. And we'll keep on with the other projects we got going on here, and I'll show you as things happen along the way. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you like the video, hit the like button, or subscribe, or tell a friend about it, or whatever. Get the word out there. We're trying to make the channel better all the time. So if there's anything you'd like to see, just shoot me a message and try and work it into the schedule. Okay, thanks again for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.